Sorry, I had us muted.
Oops.
So,
Hello and welcome to First Geek 411. This week, we're talking about The Crown, Sony buying Pure Flix. I'm going to mess it up so many times tonight. Wonder Girl and the 2020 Video Game Accessibility Awards. And then we're going to wrap up with our top 3 examples of joy. I'm your host, Cameron Franklin. And with me, as always, is my best man, Chris Nicolay. Chris, how you doing today?
hello. I am good. It's another Monday.
It's Monday.
It's Monday.
It is Monday.
Well, and that you just heard is our Colorado correspondent, Emma. Emma, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. No complaints. Busy couple of weeks, but I'm still alive, so I'm not complaining.
And then also with us from the frozen tundra, Shanine, how are you doing today?
Oh, very snowy up in the Great White North.
Listeners, as always, you can find us on our social media. We are One Geek 411 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then you can also join our Discord server if you want to chat with us between shows. You can send us an email at 1stgeek411@gmail.com. Then check out our show notes on our website, onegeek411.com. You can watch live on Twitch every Monday night at 6:45 Mountain Time and be part of the post-show chat. Then you can find the recordings over on our YouTube. If you're a podcast listener, we would love it if you would rate and subscribe. That helps us out a lot. So it's been a while since we've all been together. I think it's been 2 weeks.
Basically forever.
Yeah, feels like a long time. And so let's get into what all we have been up to. Emma, why don't you start us off?
Yeah. As I mentioned, for myself, it's been a busy couple of weeks. I have been house/apartment hunting, and finally today found a place to move up to for when I start graduate school. Yay! Super exciting!
Awesome.
I just got the application in my email, and then myself, along with millions of other people, attempted to get the PlayStation 5 this week. I was unsuccessful, but I am hopeful for the future of getting one. And I, in my spare time this week, played this fun little game on the Switch called Tangle Tower, which is just a fun little, it's basically a point and click, but it's a detective game, and you have to like solve a murder, and you basically start off thinking that it was this painting that did it. Of course it wasn't, because that would be crazy. But it's a fun, the art style is great, and the humor is wonderful, and I would highly recommend it. Maybe took me 4 hours total to get through it, maybe 5, but it's just very fun and pleasant. So yeah.
I got hyped that this game was in a world where a painting could commit a murder.
I know. Well, and it's not, but it's a wonderful, still there are a couple of other sort of little mythical things that go on that just make it a lovely experience. So yeah.
Shanine, what all have you been up to?
Speaking of Switch games, my husband and I were playing Luigi's Mansion 3 this weekend. I think we have like 4 floors in the hotel left, so getting there.
Can we talk about how bad Luigi's luck is with real estate?
So bad.
Very.
I don't know. He attracts ghosts like nobody else.
Mario would never have this problem.
True. Although Mario seems to often get stuck in those places and we have to rescue him. So is his luck better? I don't know.
Big old question mark.
Yeah. We've also been watching Being Human, the US version. It's an old TV show, vampires and werewolves, and very much enjoying it. It's very, very dramatic, but very funny. It's good. I recommend it.
The US version's the worst version.
I like the actors in it. I think
the other version.
British.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's kind of
that was my assumption, but
The Office, kind of That's
Yeah.
what I hear anyway. I haven't seen the UK version, but
Being Human's
We're
good.
watching
Though.
the
Actually,
US
both
one.
versions are. They didn't do a half bad job on the US one.
I really enjoy it. I really like both the main characters. And NaNoWriMo continues. I hit 27,457 words today, and I'm hoping to get in a bit more before bedtime. But yeah, I hit the halfway mark on Saturday. So that was very exciting.
So you're ahead of schedule.
Woohoo!
Yeah, congratulations.
Great job.
Thanks.
And I think I saw on your Twitter that you've named some characters.
I've named one character, yes.
Just one.
I'd say
Not my
that's
main
good
character.
progress.
Out of how many?
I don't know, like 6 or 7 at this point now.
just run a name generator. Just like D&D.
Yeah.
What's his name? Oh,
I 100% feel like the names of people and places would be super hard to do as an author. Especially like if you're doing fiction and you want there to be like meaning behind the names.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just becomes so, because you can't just like placeholder something and then
I mean, you can.
you can, I guess, but you
I
don't.
do have a lot of placeholders to fill in later.
Just make nerdy references all the time. That's all you do.
All of the nerdy references.
Yeah.
It's like
Chris.
I pick 2 characters and just put their names together. Boom.
This is what a lot of people do.
Chris, what all have you been up to?
So last week at work, I played through the entirety of Final Fantasy Tactics while I was working. It was great. So I played through that. Now I'm working on some like endgame stuff. I've just been playing on my tablet. It's been nice. Haven't played that in forever. I forgot how like quickly the story is if that's all you do. And this like so most of my time was just grinding, and like by the time I got to endgame, I was already level 87. It's great. Just one shot the story characters.
I feel like that's the story of your life. Like the meme of you grinding in RPGs comes from Final Fantasy Tactics.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
true. It's just surround a chocobo, let it cure you, you hit it a few times, and then you shout a lot. That's Final Fantasy Tactics. Just leave a character on, and then you master your class in one battle, and you're like, next class. But yeah, well, it's the War of the Lions version, so you have 2 new classes. So you get Dark Knight and Onion Knight. Onion Knight sucks until you master like all the classes. And then all the cool cutscenes now. I also started watching, or I guess rewatching. I guess I didn't really pay attention. I started watching Star Trek Voyager. It's not the best, but it references so much of the other of Next Generation that I really like it. But yeah, and also a female captain, so can't go wrong.
No, never.
And it's an interesting story where they end up, like transported like 200, I don't know, long ways away from where they're supposed to be, and so they're lost in Delta Quadrant instead of where their mission is in Alpha Quadrant. I don't. It's science stuff.
Just science.
Just
Like,
science
there's
stuff.
quadrants in space.
Someone's
Like that's
playing this. One thing that always gets me about like this one especially is like it's an area that we're not supposed to be in, and yet they gather so much knowledge so quickly, and it's like I don't know. It feels like everyone in this quadrant is aware of who the Federation is already, and yet the Federation has never been here.
sounds kind of like Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, wait, what? And also, why do they refer to themselves as Delta Quadrant? Like,
Because it's easier
it's like, how do you?
for the
like,
watchers.
I know, right? It's like, wait, it's like, wouldn't you call this your own quadrant? So why would you start at Delta if this is your own quadrant? Why are you using the Federation
It's
terms?
the same reason the TARDIS translates everything until it needs to not translate
Yeah.
something for the plot.
Oh,
Like,
it broke.
Oops.
Bummer, dude. This
It's
text is
just-
too ancient for the TARDIS.
And
It's
then
just space logic.
it's like-
yeah, I mean sci-fi. I mean, granted, I feel like the newer series does a lot better of like exploring that mystery of the world. So Discovery does, trying to keep it like literally we don't know. And then I started getting caught up on more Prancing Pony podcast because Lord of the Rings. And then I also started watching some random Christmas movies on Netflix.
Chris, it's not even Thanksgiving yet.
I don't know what time of year it is, okay? I haven't known for the last 8 months.
I don't
You're
think anyone
close
has
enough.
known.
You're close enough to the Canadian border that you can just claim Canada, and Thanksgiving's been over for over a
It's been
month.
like a month.
There,
so-
see, yeah.
There you
exactly.
go. That's proper logic.
I'm getting ready for that move.
Yeah,
Adapting.
getting ready for Canada to annex Montana.
I'm ready. And yeah, so that's really all I've been up to. And just, yeah, not a whole lot much more.
Let's see. For me, over the weekend, we reorganized our entertainment center. And by reorganized, I mean got a new one. And so we went to IKEA and came to the conclusion that entertainment centers are expensive, but shelves are cheap.
I
So we
mean-
just bought shelves and turned them sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
most people do. It's called IKEA hacking. Did you get some Swedish meatballs?
No.
That's the best
Did you even
part.
go to
Is the
IKEA?
Swedish meatballs.
Did you
We
really
did
go
get.
to IKEA?
I don't think. Well, you couldn't sit to eat there. I don't know if they were actually serving food. We did get Swedish candy though.
Okay.
Dude, that
So-
stuff is good.
Yeah. So they had like sour. They were Vikings, which is also cool.
Yeah.
But they had that, and then Deanna got some cookies, and so.
I mean, you
that
could have
was
bought
great.
a pack of the frozen Swedish meatballs and just made them at home. I'd count that too.
Fair.
Yeah.
But
I would also
Honestly,
count that.
if you didn't eat Swedish meatballs at IKEA, you didn't really go to IKEA.
My bank account says I definitely went to IKEA.
Nah, that's
So
fair.
But your
my tummy
stomach
does
does
not. And then also reorganized my desk again. And so my monitors are now back on the mount. And so they're a lot higher up, which, opens up a lot of space. I'm ready to
More
stop working at.
activities.
Yes, I'm ready to stop working from home because I keep on having to change my desk around for my work setup. And so with this current one, super convenient for when I'm not working, but when I am working, my work laptop has to cover one of my monitors. And so it's like, this is the biggest first world problem out there, but I am sad.
Just invest in or make your work by you a KVM switch.
I mean, I could probably get my go into the office and grab my docking station, but then I'd have to drive in and then drive home and all that kind of stuff.
It's one
but
day though.
It is one day. I could also get another monitor while I was there.
Yeet. Sounds like a win-win.
On other fronts, Kaladesh Remastered hit Magic the Gathering Arena, so played a little bit of that. Got those new cards. And then Mandalorian Season 2 continues. Episode 3, which I guess is 11 overall. Best episode so far. Highly recommend.
I'm behind an episode.
I can't believe they killed Baby Yoda.
What a bummer, dude.
That escalated quickly.
It was a shocker.
Is that as much of a shame as me not having a Disney Plus account?
Yes.
Great. Because I'm not going to change that fact anytime soon.
You can just wait till the season's over, sign up for a month, and then
Yeah, then binge it.
Yeah, I
Binge it.
haven't even seen season 1. So actually, I saw one episode of it when I was who knows where. But
who's
And I was-
your phone carrier?
Verizon?
Do you have unlimited data?
No.
Oh, sorry.
I do not.
Sorry. You get a free year of Disney Plus if you're a Verizon member with unlimited data.
Well, I do not fall under that category. So,
My bad.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I am somewhat hesitant to give Disney money every month. So
Yeah,
That's why
I
I
definitely
don't.
recommend once it's done. Like, I mean, assuming it's something you're interested in, is because it's only going to be like 16 episodes total,
yeah,
and so you can definitely do like the 1 month trial on a burner email, and then
yeah. I've definitely made up those emails before for that purpose.
You just have
then-
several burner accounts, and you
Yeah.
just cycle through. That's what I did. I used to. No, I'm too lazy for that now. It's too much work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. Fancy that.
Then the last thing for me is that I did get my PS5 in on Thursday, and so have been having a ton of fun with that. I've already got the platinum for Astro's Playroom. Been playing a lot of Bug Snacks, and then
How is that?
Oh,
Is that
you can't
is
not
it-
be talking about Bug Snacks.
is it better than the trailers for it? Like I watched the trailers and I went, this thing looks like a terrible idea.
Then yes, it is better than the trailer.
Okay.
It's super goofy, but like it kind of does like the Pixar twist, where it's like
Okay.
this bright and colorful world where it's like, oh, look at all these little things, and then like all the characters are going through things, and you kind of help them overcome their struggles and things like that. Like
Mm.
it actually gets like it kind of gets you in the heart, like as you go, as you like help these people come back together. By people, I mean grumpuses, but you know.
Bugs that are snacks.
Yeah, and then yesterday started Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so that's hype. I'm really enjoying that so far. And then the most unsung feature of the PS5 is that it shows you how long you've played games, like the Nintendo Switch has done since it came out. But but what's really interesting is that it shows you how long you've played games on PS4. Which
Oh,
Ooh, that's
means
nice.
Sony was tracking this the whole time and just didn't show it to us. So I would like to submit for the panel, how long do you think I have played Fall Guys for?
A long time. At least
110
200 plus. I was going to say 200 plus.
Shanine, what do you think?
182.
Okay, well, I feel a lot better about myself, or worse, one of those. It was 72 hours,
Oh,
Huh.
which was both more and less than I expected. It's one of those that like if it kind of just is like I probably played it like 20 or 200. Yeah, one
Yeah.
of those. And so I was really surprised by that. That was really the only one that kind of shocked me. Although I did put in like 26 hours of Genshin Impact in a week apparently, but
easy.
Yeah. So we'll have more PlayStation 5 talk as it develops. And yeah. So with that, let's jump into our discussion topics for today. Emma, why don't you start us off?
Yeah. So we had the exciting thing of getting a trailer for season 4 of The Crown, which I was pretty excited for because I'm looking forward to getting more of The Crown. And we learned, I suppose, that we're getting Princess Diana in the season, which is a huge historical point in the history of the royal family, if you will. And that's something I'm also looking forward to because I don't know much about her other than she passed away in a car accident. And The Crown is known for being sticklers about being historically accurate. So I'm just looking forward to learning more about that.
I was about to ask that. Like, Deanna's watched The Crown, but I've never seen it. And so I was very curious and if it was going to be like, or if it was a historically accurate show. So,
Yes.
or at least mostly. Like, I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be some embellishment for
Yeah.
drama reasons.
And
Yeah.
for areas where they don't have information on what happened or certain conversations or whatever. Yeah, so that's something that I'm excited for. I'm not usually a historical drama person, but The Crown is, I just find it really interesting. So I'm excited for that. And then the other thing that happened this week that was also kind of something that I did was that the YouTube channel Unus Annus celebrated its 1-year anniversary by deleting itself and all of the videos it made. And that was the entire intention of the channel. They would make one video every single day and then delete it at the end of the year. And that's what they did. And so I just think that's fun because it's something that, like, the internet is where things go to live forever. And they're like, nah, we're just going to delete this all because we can. So
It's still there somewhere.
it's still there somewhere in the sense that people have uploaded all of that stuff to their own places, but the actual channel has just been wiped off the face of the planet. So
How long were these like daily videos?
anywhere between 15 and 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And they were like well edited, and like they spent quite a bit of time making the videos. So
It was one of those things that, like, I don't know about the rest of you, but like I hadn't heard of it until it was like, this is the last week of this channel.
yeah.
And so I'd never like watched, I never like looked into it. And so I was like, it seemed like a bunch of people really enjoyed it. And so
Yeah, it's one of those channels I followed all year, and they had some great stuff. It was like a broad spectrum of things that they did, from putting things in blenders and drinking them to pretending to be old men while running around a pool, if you will. Like, it's all stupid stuff, but like stupid in the sense that it's entertaining. So
Is it though?
yes. Depending on your sense of humor.
So do they?
I
do
know
they
anything
launch
from
like a
youth
new
group.
channel for the next year, or was it just?
They do not have plans to. No.
Oh, okay.
which is exactly
In
what
part
they would
because
say
they are
if had
also-
plans to.
Well, that's also in part because they themselves are YouTubers, so they have their own channels to deal with. So, yeah. That was just, apparently that's something people can do, is make a channel for a year and then delete it and have a deadline for themselves. So,
Deleting our channel a year, Cameron.
Or we could not.
No.
Plot twist.
how
What if
about
we
not?
What if we didn't do that? Janine, what do you have for us this week?
All right. Bringing in the Canadian news this time.
Woo!
Real exciting. A 911 call was made regarding the Mile End Ubisoft offices in Montreal, and police and ambulances showed up and specialized tactical officers, and it's reported that employees were like barricading themselves on the roof and things like that, and then it was all deemed a hoax. So whatever was supposed to be happening wasn't happening at all. So
Wait, so Ubisoft got swatted themselves, like the whole company?
yeah, I think there was like, I don't know if there was supposed to be like a hostage situation going on there, or like somebody making threats towards Ubisoft or what, but
Oh man, it's not EA,
Yeah.
people. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome that, well, awesome. It's good that it was a hoax. Like,
Yeah.
and that no one was hurt and all
Yeah.
that. And
yes.
but yeah, it's also one of those, I mean, like swatting, like, or any of those things. It's super sad that this happened.
What are so
Right.
many people doing working in the office?
Good question. I think we'd
That's
all
the real
like to know that.
That's the real question here.
I mean, they could be spread out. Like, it just kind of depends on what their
I remember
protocol is.
like years ago, some people started like hacked some road signs, like a ton of them in Montana. It started as
Which is
zombie
apparently like
hoax.
super easy to do in America because we're too stupid to change the password for the road signs.
Well, I mean, and then like they started like a whole zombie hoax.
I think I remember at least hearing about that from somebody.
Yeah, like so like some of like the road construction signs and stuff like indicated alerts like it was back in 2013. And let's see, where is it? Not only that, is also they also infiltrated the local broadcast system
Oh,
on TVs.
I was gonna say, because I like the idea that people believed the zombie apocalypse, because some really devoted, like, Department of Transportation worker was going in and changing all the signs. Like,
Right.
they're just like running from sign to
No,
sign.
it would be like
updating before
the ones that you can set up the light, the change, not
Like the construction ones.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what
The
I'm
ones
saying. I love
that, yeah.
because it's like, because those aren't like a central hub. Like, those are like individually set. So somebody's like running from one to the next, like updating the message.
We gotta warn them about the zombie
the zombies,
apocalypse. We gotta warn them.
Yeah, like the emergency broadcast system played a message saying civil authorities in your area have reported that the bodies of the dead are rising from the grave and attacking the living. Do not approach or apprehend these bodies as they are extremely dangerous. And I remember I was watching TV when this came on, and I was just like, someone's getting in trouble.
Yeah, seriously.
That's my kind of hoax, though.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of like the time, like of the 1984 radio drama broadcast,
Yeah.
or sorry, War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Whereas like because if you tuned in before they announced that it was like after they had already announced that it was a thing, and the way it came across that people believed that this was actually happening. Yes.
Sheen, I think you got a second thing that I am super excited about.
Yes. In
The complete
other
opposite end of the
news.
spectrum.
Yeah. So, a subsidiary of Sony, Affirm Entertainment Inc., is set to acquire faith and family entertainment streaming service Pure Flix. And also, fun fact, the CEO of Pure Flix is named Michael Scott.
Oh my.
That
Oh, boy.
explains their content.
I'm so excited. This story got better.
Right?
Oh my
That
gosh.
explains
But-
so much.
So yeah, Pure Flix is apparently known for its inspirational TV shows and movies, and Affirm Films has done movies such as War Room, Heaven is for Real, and Miracles from Heaven. So they're acquiring Pure Flix now. And what do you all hope for out of Christian faith-based content? Because we know what our faith-based content has looked like up till
Yeah.
this point.
It's
Better.
looked like War Room, Heaven is for Real, and Miracles in Heaven. So, I mean, obviously, like, the meme answer is like Bible Man or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Veggie
yeah.
Tales?
I mean, that would be the dream, right?
Yeah.
Live
Is that
action
we get-
Veggie Tales.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris.
We get VeggieTales to read it.
We all want that, don't we?
Like think Detective Pikachu, but Veggie Tales.
But Veggie Tales.
I feel
Some of
like
the
there's a
most
way to do
disturbing
this
characters.
right.
Yeah.
I feel like that you get very close to the old Sonic versus new Sonic thing,
Ugh.
where it's like it's gonna be one, and odds are it's the first Sonic.
Yep.
Like,
And you
So
know
the
they're not
one
going to
no one
listen
wants?
and change anything to try to go to the direction of New Sonic.
No.
But I really need God's Not Dead 3, 4, 5, 6, etc.
Isn't there already a 3?
Is there already a 3?
I'm pretty
Stop
sure there's
it.
been
Probably.
Yeah,
At least a 3.
because I think I randomly went down a YouTube rabbit hole on the absurdity of the God's Not Dead plot, and because I think the plot of 3 is the opposite of 1 and 2, like the message it's trying to send.
Oof.
And so it's just like completely like, I mean, it's still the same of like religious liberties or whatever, but like the situation is the exact inverse of the previous ones.
So is the first one the one where there's a kid in a college class
Mhm.
and his professor
That's
challenges
number
him?
one.
Okay, so I've only seen the first one. So
I feel like
I
that's
haven't
probably
seen
enough.
any of them.
yeah,
I feel like 0 is also probably enough.
Do not
Like,
fair.
recommend.
I don't know. I saw somebody post this and it was like, I would love to get like, and this is a crazy IP crossover that would be tons of people, but like I would love to see like an extremely faith-based look at like Daredevil. Like obviously that's not Sony, but like I would love in this like age of superheroes where we could actually get something where we could get that type of, like, even more so than like Daredevil season 3 was.
Yeah.
Like actually get a lot like that kind of look at a character's faith. Do
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen? No. But I would like to watch it if it did.
I want something that poses more questions than answers. Like, can we just stop trying to put Christianity in a nice little box with a bow on top and giving it to people? It's not what it looks like.
It's not.
Yeah. Like
That's
out
fine.
of Christian content, I'd like to see stuff that looks more like the Bible.
So
like-
more R. Got it.
Yeah, more R-rated content.
Yeah.
Killing. We need more throat slicing,
Yeah.
you know.
We need someone to hit a person with a rock in the head and then go up to them, take their sword and kill them with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Women posing as prostitutes to seduce their fathers-in-law, you know, that kind of thing.
All of that fun stuff.
Real life.
Real life experiences.
Oh man.
But with Jesus.
But with Jesus.
But with Jesus.
Jesus.
Oh man, listeners,
There is no hope.
please let us know the your stance on the live action VeggieTales remake,
Please.
as well as the I don't know how to say this well, the super random Bible stories that would never get made into like a live action thing.
I need more
Also-
vintage 21 dubs.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, I'm sharing a link in stream chat for people that need to go watch this. There's 4 parts to this. This is like an old, they redubbed some of like the original like Jesus.
Oh, I have seen these.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure we watched these in college.
Yes, I know what we're talking about now.
And these are phenomenal.
I'd like to remind the listeners to watch them after the podcast.
Yes.
Please.
So just to
Well,
make sure we're all on the same page.
Yep.
But with that, Chris, what do you have for us?
So recently, DC held their Future State kind of event in which they announced some things coming to comics as well as some things happening as a result of comics. One specifically is that a CW series called Wonder Girl, or focusing around Wonder Girl, a not yet released comic hero, is set to be in production. Not only and is, as a result, it's going to feature the first Latin hero from the DC universe. And I guess the comic is based on a character called Yara Flor. And Flor is an Amazonian warrior and Brazilian river god, who is ultimately takes the mantle of being Wonder Girl. And this is kind of the pair along with Wonder Woman. I'm excited to see what they do with this, especially because the CW has been doing decent things with their series. They keep me watching at the very least. I'm not saying it's always good all the time, but they do some good stuff, especially when they are centered around their female protagonists. But yeah, so I'm excited for this. So Wonder Girl will join existing shows currently running. So Batwoman, Legends of Tomorrow, The Flash, Black Lightning, Superman and Lois, as well as the final season of Supergirl. Sad face.
Mm-hmm. Then for me, I wanted to give a shout out to the 2020 Video Game Accessibility Awards that happened this past week, or this past weekend. And so it was put together by Able Gamers. And so shout out to them. And it was designed to highlight basically what games are doing well to become more accessible. One of the things, I have a link for us in the show notes, but one of the things I had hoped to find, and I couldn't find a comprehensive list, and was a lot of their categories have like, I don't want to be like, say like strange names, but the names are not necessarily intuitive to what they are. And so I was hoping to find a better breakdown, but I couldn't find a good article that did that. So like some of the ones are like one of them is second channel, which is basically which means that the game provided you another way of viewing that information besides having to look at the screen, and so that helps. And so, yeah, so it honored games that offered an alternative or additional way to access game information for players who can't access it through in-game tools. So I just want to kind of give this a general shout out because it's awesome that games are doing this, and hopefully it's something that we'll continue to see more as we go.
It's one of the criticisms that we see of Sony is that they haven't released anything like controller-wise that truly expands accessibility to their format, whereas like the Xbox Pro controllers and those sorts of things like that allow those modules and that modularity make their system or their platform a little more accessible for those with specific needs. So I think things like this are super important just because they highlight the things that people are doing well and gives, hopefully it, as a result of highlighting it, more people or more companies will do those things, and then they'll sell more consoles.
Yep. So yeah, kind of just with that, I want to just encourage everyone to go hit up the Able Gamers website, check out what they're about, and help them, or kind of just spread the word of their mission because they're a pretty cool group.
They're a great group.
And with that, we got a couple announcements before we get into our top three. The first announcement, and I guess this is actually happening second, but it's less of a conversation, I guess. And that's Chris and I are on the Mountain Nerds, dropping this Friday, the 20th, talking about space.
I was like, what did we talk about?
Chris, you were there, and
I
you
was
were way more energetic on that podcast than you were on ours.
I mean,
I only know that because I listened back to it. They sent me the audio for it, and I made that joke in that podcast. So
I thought I mentioned it.
You might have.
I think
Apparently
I said something about that. I'm way
closely.
more awake today than yesterday. I don't know. Maybe just more delirious sometimes too. It's a toss-up. It's like, am I actually more awake or am I just more tired that I'm delirious?
Good question. Only you can answer that.
Oh, yeah, only you. can
Only
answer.
you.
I don't think I can. I don't know the difference anymore.
So we'll be tweeting out about that and stuff as it comes up, or as it releases. And then this Thursday is our way earlier than normal book club. By way earlier, I mean
a week. So much
Way
earlier.
So, Janine, you want to give us a reminder on our book and all that stuff before we...
Yes, we will be talking about Advent, A Thread in the Night by E.M. Welcher. This is a great book for, you guessed it, Advent.
Whoa.
And so we're talking about it before Advent starts, so you guys will get a chance to hear what it's all about. And
get you a chance to purchase it before December 1st.
Yes.
That's awesome. So that'll be this Thursday. today is the 16th, so it's definitely not that. The 19th, right here on Twitch, 6:45 Mountain Time. So, big shout out to that. Looking forward, as always, to our book club conversations. So, this is our first nonfiction. So,
Woo.
unless Sleepy Hollow was real, but
I believe.
Yeah.
I believe that was just a newspaper article. That's why it was so short.
Dude, absolutely. I'm here for it.
This is an editorial.
An opinion post,
yeah.
opinion column.
Letter to the editor.
Letter to the editor.
I've been hearing a lot of talk about Ichabod. This is what people are claiming. This is what I believe.
Good old Ichabod. So yeah, looking forward to this Thursday, Advent, a thread in the night, and so hope everyone can be here and be a part of that. And that brings us to our top 3 for this week. We are continuing our series on the fruit of the Spirit. So previously we did love several weeks ago, and so the next one is joy, and that's why we're doing it today. And so we are talking about our top 3 illustrations of joy. It could be people or events or, normal top 3 call outs of there are no rules. So if you can justify it, it counts. And so, as always, I forgot to get it open on social media so I could read our responses. But Justin says, well, joy from Inside Out is definitely one of them, because I needed a picture. And so I went with the lowest hanging fruit, which was joy. Pun definitely not intended, because I've made my stance on puns well known. And so joy is definitely up there. But another one that comes to mind is the Ghost of Christmas Present from the Muppets Christmas Carol.
Timely.
So, and I will say, in general, if I had to pick one of the ghosts to hang out with, the Ghost of Christmas Present's probably where the party is at.
Yeah. Good one to go with.
Then Andrew says his contenders are Rafiki from The Lion King and Merlin from Sword in the Stone. So, thank you as always. And if you're hanging out in chat, you can, of course, let us know what your top 3 is. Something that is a great illustration of joy. And for us, let's go ahead and get into it. Emma, why don't you start us off?
To no one's surprise, my first is dogs. Dogs are a great illustration of joy, in my very humble opinion, because they are very joyful creatures in general. And I had one, sort of my sub point for that was Doug from Up, because Doug could be a very useful description of the joy that exists in dogs. It's very just I don't want to say non-committal, but like they're just joyful no matter what's going on around them. So that's my first one.
Shanine, what do you got?
I have to go with Michael Scott, especially in the series finale when finally all of his dreams come true and he has a family and 2 phones with 2 plans for all the pictures of his kids, and he's watching all his friends get married and just
all of his kids grew up and married each other.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Michael Scott was on my short list as well.
Nice. My first one, I have gone with Hurley from Lost. He's just a jolly character, kind of useless in the show for the most part, kind of. But he has some really good redeeming qualities. One being his optimism and joyfulness, despite being stranded on an island with a bunch of dicks. And yeah, he's just my favorite character in that show for one. Although, like, yes, there are periods where he gets down. Don't get me wrong, but in general, he was probably what kept everyone from losing their minds in that show, because You need a character like that in a situation like that. So Hurley. She's a bundle of joy.
Mm-hmm.
There are times where certain people overstep their bounds and create all these rules. And those rules sometimes just need to be blown up with cool dragon fireworks. And that's why Fred and George Weasley are my number 3. And so I love them throughout the series of Harry Potter. And I love that they kind of get to bring this, like, what I think would be a ton of fun about the wizarding world is that you could make all these cool things, and they kind of create this like magical prank shop kind of thing. And it's just super interesting to see them, that outside of the box thinking, that, that jovial spirit that they have. And yeah, so big shout out to Fred and George, and Umbridge is the worst. But just got to get that jab in there. But yeah.
Oh, is that me? I guess I'm next. My next one is Dory from Finding Nemo.
I
Because
was
she's
thinking about Dory.
yeah. Well, she's just so like she has such an optimistic outlook in life, and even though she's handed a difficult deck to deal with, she's just so upbeat and joyful in a way of like, I don't care if I can't remember my own name. I'm just going to sing this little song and continue on my way. And it's just a wonderful outlook on being optimistic about life, no matter what you've got going on.
I like it.
Yeah. My next one is Anne from Anne of Green Gables. I don't know. She finds the magic and the joy in everything, but specifically when Matthew brings her a dress with puffed sleeves to wear to the party. And it was really the highlight of her life up to that point. Like nothing more perfect could have happened than for her to be wearing puffed sleeves. And she just found so much joy in just a dress.
My next one is Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph. Because, yeah, she's just happy-go-lucky, getting after it, not going to let anyone tear her down, proving she's the best, and bringing a villain along with her. She just builds everyone up for the most part, despite her essentially having her own game turned against her. Just finds a way to exist within that world in a positive light, and also allows Ralph to see his own value.
I'm really glad that Emma went with dogs for her first one. I was thinking that this might be too far out there, but remember, there's no rules.
There's no rules.
So my number 2 is that tactile feeling of shuffling a deck of cards, specifically magic cards, but like
Dragon Shields.
Ultra Pro, watch your mouth.
Ultra Pro Eclipses, I hope.
I wish. And so, or similarly, like the sound of like a bunch of dice, like rolling together. I really miss playing board games with people. Like, I was talking to a friend this past week about playing physical Magic again, and we just got hyped. Sometime it'll happen. I believe.
Eventually.
Please wear a mask.
Please.
Like, I realize that this is like the least compelling reason that you should wear a mask. But
so that Cameron can go play Magic in person again.
But yeah, please wear a mask.
Please and thank you.
And wash your hands.
Oh, that too. My third one is Korg from Thor 3. Because he's so mellow and like,
oh, tight.
We're gonna go steal a ship now. Like, as though that's not a big deal that they're gonna go raid a ship or whatever. Just like, he's so chill about life and very content with his state in the world. I don't know. It's just a weirdly, it's a weird, different view of optimism than Dory. That is just content with life. We're gonna go do this thing that's strange or dumb or whatever, but we're just gonna do it and have fun with it. So,
Oh, Taika.
oh Taika,
Oh, Taika.
oh Taika. Also, that entire movie in general is great.
Yes.
Okay, and my last one is the Who's from Whoville. All singing together on Christmas morning, even after the Grinch tries to steal it. And nothing's really as it should be, but they still find joy in the day together.
It's a wonderful scene.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why the Grinch's heart grows 3 sizes that day. My third and final one, to no surprise, is Yukihiro Soma from Shokugeki no Soma. Because, one, food. And he just has such a joy in cooking that infects everyone around him. And whether it be good or bad, he finds the best in bringing out the best in his friends and comrades, as well as just the willingness to challenge any opponent just because he wants to cook and his cooking to improve. And his creativity that brings to it, that he even changes everyone's minds after they taste it. Everyone underestimates him, and he's just like, whatever. You ain't got a clue. Your cooking's stale and rigid. Try this. I made it out of this snack I got at the convenience store. And I love him. I love that show.
My last one, we're going to just be honest with ourselves. It had to be Aang. Like, there was no way it wasn't Aang. And so specifically, shout out to book 3, where it's basically the Footloose, where Aang starts going to a Fire Nation school and convinces them to all have a dance party in a cave. And I love Fire Nation Aang. like that's probably like a set of like some of my favorite parts is when he's at the school, and he's just like pretending to be like a Fire Nation kid from the Earth Kingdom, and I just love that so much. But yeah, specifically this dance party, it's such a good illustration that, I mean, it is still a kids show, air quotes, but like a good illustration that even in like hard times, it's okay to have joy. And so, yeah.
So specifically Kuzan.
Yeah, Kuzan.
Not Lee. No, I'm just kidding.
Not Lee. Also, shout out to the second time that Katara like gets a name thrown at her and she just runs with it, because Sapphire Fire. But yeah, so that is our top 3 examples of joy. If you have one, if you can, feel free to let us know on our social media. We'll talk about how you can do that in a second. But next week's top 3, as we get into American Thanksgiving. And so I wanted us to kind of look at the idea of thankfulness. And sometimes change is really hard. Sometimes change is for the worst. And so this time I want us to talk about 3 changes that have been made to a franchise that we care about, that we are thankful for.
Got all of mine.
Nice.
Great.
They're all the same. I'm just kidding.
They're all one thing.
They're all one thing and different things.
So with that, we'll go through our social media, then hop into our post-show chat. And so, as always, listeners, you can find us on One Geek 411 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And then you can join our Discord server if you want to chat with us between podcast episodes. You can also shoot us an email at 1stgeek411@gmail.com. And you can watch live on Twitch, where you can be part of those post-show chats, as well as catch the videos later on YouTube. Then you can rate and subscribe on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. And then check out our show notes at onegeek411.com, where you can check out our sister podcast, Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust, who just dropped their Rocketeer episode today.
Oh, they're
And so-
back.
And now that I said that, I'm really worried I got the wrong name of that movie. And
it's
so
The
we're going to do a
Rocketeer.
quick Google search. Yes, The Rocketeer. Okay, we're good. And so you can go check them out and send them some love on social media for, as Chris said, coming back after a bit of a hiatus. And so, and then as always, you can find us on our personal social media. Mine is Humar Whittill.
Mine is I am not prepared with an I.
I'm Hoot and Howl Tales, Tales on Instagram, and the Hoot and Howl on Twitter.
No, I'm not so foreign.
And it's been a great week.
Wash your hands.
Another day, another Doug.
I love you. Okay, post-show